All right, this is our hollow hold exercise. So Janelle's gonna come down onto her back, flat on the mat for a second while I talk. So the hollow hold is comes from the world of gymnastics. It is a phenomenal exercise for building core strength. I see it all too often though. People go further into the progression with hollow hold than they are ready to go. We often need to start really simple and then start adding challenge to it. So I'm gonna give you guys the easiest version of this, and then I will give you a spectrum until we get to almost the hardest version. So the easiest version is gonna be the following. Janelle's gonna bring her knees up to about 90 degrees. She's gonna put the palms of her hands on the front of her knees. Yep. And now she is going to start a little bit of a battle. She's going to try to pull her knees into her chest while she is pushing with her hands. Now, I don't think you guys can see this on camera. However, right through here, her abs are already twitching, which means that everything is working, which is exactly what we want. The other thing that Janelle is going to do right here is check the connection of her low back to the ground. I don't care what the connection is. I am not a push your low back into the ground kind of guy anymore, but I do care that you notice what that connection feels like, because it's a really good marker of what neutral is and what we want to maintain. You can go ahead and rest for 1 second. So version 1 of hollow hold, progression number 1 is knees in and just pushing with the hands, because you can create your own force, you create your own balance there. Version 2, Janelle's going to come to that same starting point. And then bring the hands back up to the legs. Give yourself that little bit of a push. So this way she can start to feel her abs. And now what you're gonna do is let your feet come out about an inch away from you. You're gonna keep pushing with your hands. Keep pushing. Lift your chest and your shoulders up. Great, so now she's got a little bit of elevation in her upper rib cage, and hands are gonna finally reach out to the sides of her legs, reaching her fingers as far to that far wall as she can. And then even a little bit more lift through the shoulders. And we just see her chest came forward. She connected her upper abs into the rib cage. Great. So this is hollow hold progression number 2. Go ahead and rest. Again, key rule, keep the low back connected to the ground as it was in progression version 1. Always go back to that if you need to reset. Another nice rule for hollow hold to keep in mind: if you need to take a break from the position because you're going for a minute or 30 seconds, don't break by putting your feet on the ground, break by pulling your knees into your chest. Janelle's resting with her feet on the ground because she's actually going to be in this for a few minutes as you guys are learning everything. So we're going to come back up to base position number 1. This time you don't need to bring your hands to your knees, you're going to reach your hands straight up to the ceiling. Fantastic. So now Janelle's going to still lift her chest slightly off the ground, so the upper abs are firing, and now Janelle's going to get to start reaching her legs away from her, and we start moving into progression number 3. And you'll see that she's even reaching her hands forward to help keep the upper abs engaged. That works, that's great. We'll call this position 3A, and then let's take a look at what 3B would be. 3B is simply pulling the arms back without losing that connection right under the chest in the upper abs. Great. There's a lot of twitching going on. I know she is fighting really hard to not lose it off the ground, and go ahead and relax. So there's 3A and 3B. Now what we're going to do is from 3A and 3B into the fullest expression of hollow hold, this is just shades of gray. What I'm going to have Janelle do, I'm not going to ask her to hold this for very long because I know that at least for today her endurance isn't going to be there, and that's okay. We all have different days. But Janelle's going to come back up to the starting position with knees up and arms up. And she's going to now straighten her legs out. Okay, great. So she's at about 45 degrees. Our final expression, our final phase, our final state for hollow hold is going to be legs even further out. And arms start reaching back. And so let's call Janelle in stage 4 right now. Stage 5, if you can imagine it, feet are 6 inches off the ground and thumbs are 6 inches off the ground back there. Some of us get to stage 5, some of us don't. There's no judgment, that's not the point. The goal is not to get to a place, the goal is to make your abs incredibly strong so that your low back doesn't ever hurt and your hips have a really stable structure to pull from. Those are our hollow hold progressions. Thanks guys. All right.